Hello, if you want to watch exclusive lemon content on What If Naruto, then go to my Boosty. The first link in the description here contains such hot stories for adults, such as What If Naruto was a daddy for Sarada, or Kushina and Mikoto vulgar Naruto mommies. Follow the link and enjoy. I'm waiting for you.
And hello, how are you people? How are you? I hope you are feeling very well. As you can see here, I leave you with a new chapter of this wonderful series. Without further ado, I'll leave you with the video. The second great ninja war is in progress. Death after death was seen every day. Worries of each side was taken, but a fuck. Only one could not stop thinking about a dream that has tormented him. Tobirama Senju, considered a genius that only appears every 1,000 years, but that's what they thought after his brother will end the clan war. He settled down, and thus gave a son, equal or greater intelligence than him, his mother and Uzumaki, Sarah Uzumaki. Considered a prodigy in her clan, thus giving on a mission with the help of Konoha they met, not knowing that they would fall in love. So Sarah's father gave her his blessing to make her life with him the same. What a myth to forge a strong bond with the Leaf Village. When they were 27 years old, from the love they had, Naruto was born. Naruto was a prodigy, a genius, so much so that his parents had to protect him in the first war. Because at that time he was only 5 years old. After that war, there was peace, but it was disturbed by the next war, and in that war Tobirama was appointed as the second Hokage. By that time, a 17-year-old Naruto was already considered a ninja of SS rank, something that only few ninja they have reached, but after he eliminated a battalion of 10,000 men on his own. He earned the name of Death Flash, because every time he disappeared hundreds and hundreds of shinobi fell. Everything was perfect, because for Konoha she was the strongest at that time, but Tobirama had something that was noticed by his wife and son. "Father, something is wrong with you. You may deceive others, but my mother and I did not," Naruto said with his arms crossed in his father's office. "As always, so curious, son," Tobirama said, looking at his son. "You won't tell what's the matter with you, dear," Sarah said. "Sai, I've been dreaming this for 6 months, a war, not just any, not like the one now, but in that war, the Villages were captured and sealed into one, and it gave as birth. The 10 tails," said Tobirama, gaining the attention of his son, who opened his eyes. "Besides, I saw your uncle, me, you, your mother and others revived with my jutsu, Edo Tensei, and not only that we lost. Because we didn't fight with everything. They controlled us in the end," Tobirama said. "It must be just a dream, dear," said Sue. "I don't think that's it," Naruto said, drawing his parents' attention. "What do you mean?" said Tobirama, watching his son coming to the window, and see Konoha the 10 tails. "Like you said, he had an eye like he was a Sharingan," Naruto said. "Now that you say it, yes, why?" Tobirama said, a little worried about what his son would say. "I do not know if it is true, but as you know, we Senju, Uzumaki and Uchiha are descendants of the Rikudo Sennin. Although it is his sons who formed such clans, but in my research which you forbade me, I found that there was a creature as you described it in your dream, only it was divided into 9 souls, which contained the power of the 10 tails," Naruto said. "You're saying I saw the future?" said Tobirama nervously. "5. Maybe, if so, someone will have to be here for that, but like you said, we'll be dead by then," Naruto said. "Naruto, son, I want you to be the one going to that future," Tobirama said. "I have an idea, the Kyuubi must know," Naruto said. "Don't even think about it," said Sarah mom. "I am able to contain a Biju, and the 9 at once, and you witnessed when the 9 were together, and I controlled them," Naruto said. "Let's talk to Mito, maybe he'll tell us something," Tobirama said moments later. "So they want to talk to him," 9 tails said Mito next to her husband, "and you can find out why," Esirama said. "Say it, father," Naruto said. "All right," said Tobirama. And so telling everything without omitting anything. And even added the ones that his son said. "Are you not somewhat paranoid?" said Esirama laughing. "Shut up, brother," said Tobirama. "No one in my family respects me," Esirama said with a cloud of depression. "Auntie, we can," Naruto said. "Not it. What do you want, Fleabag?" said Mito, seeing the Kyuubi. "Let me talk to him, it's true what he said," said the Kyuubi. "What are you talking about?" "You're saying that my brother-in-law's dream is true," Mito said like that. "This mate now, let me talk to that guy. If it is true what he said in that dream, then we will be in serious trouble," said the Kyuubi. "Okay, I will give up control," said Myth, disappearing real world. "Auntie, it's okay," Naruto said, moving his hand over Mito's face, but he stopped doing so, or at the sight of the snotty Kyuubi's eyes. "Tell me how much you know about the Jirbi," the Kyuubi said. "Not much, just that you guys keep all your chakra," Naruto said. "Kyuubi, where is my wife?" Esirama said. "Uncle, for this time shut your mouth," Naruto said. Esirama had a cloud of depression, because even his nephew did not respect him. "Tell me everything you know, please," Naruto said. "Well," said the Kyuubi. It all started with the arrival of the princess of the Otsutsuki clan here on Earth. She arrived together with the tree god, which her goal was to collect the most chakra found in the whole world. Along with that, but she came when humans, before being able to access the chakra, she saw how they were killing each other. And at that moment she was already pregnant by a human, but he betrayed her, giving so that she ate of the fruit of the chakra tree. Where the abilities that we know today. Like the clans that exist today, she possessed the Yakugan, Rinnegan, Rhine Sharingan, which could subdue everyone in powerful genjutsu, which no one could escape. After she will free the world from wars, she gave birth to 2 sons, Goromo and Mura, both of whom inherited their mother's power, as well as her eyes. Sometime later, Kaguya started to go crazy, however Kaguya became enraged by the power inherited from her children, and by her strong will. Tree to recover the chakra, which was known as the 10-tailed beast. The furious beast ravaged all the lands, until the sons of Kaguya defeated and sealed it, becoming the first Hinsuriki. Agoromo later taught humanity the concepts of the chakra, becoming revered and known as the Sage of the 6 Tails. Paths in an attempt to make people connect with each other using the chakra, instead of using it as a weapon, as Kaguya had done. It has also been said that Kaguya used the infinite Tsukuyomi to force people to stop fighting and finally control them. This also caused people fallen in genjutsu to become white Cetus. Sometime later, Kaguya met up with his 2 grandsons Indra and Asura, although it is unknown what happened next. At some later point, Kaguya was sealed by Agoromo and Amura and apparently sent to the moon, along with the demonic statue of the outer path, which was the empty shell of the 10 tails. When that shell remains, we were born, thanks to the ability of the Rinnegan of our creator. We are what we are, said the Kyuubi. It's a problem if that creature is born again, Naruto said. Now everyone was scared, because if what Tobirama had dreamed of became true, this would be a big problem, Kyuubi. Tell me something, what is your real name, Naruto said, because you want to know that, it's not enough for you to know how we were created. The Kyuubi said to make a deal with you, Naruto said. Kurama, that's my name, Kurama said. Okay Kurama, do you know any way to fall asleep 4 decades without dying? A kind of sealing, Naruto said. The others knew what he meant because he was a master in sealing even better than everyone present now, son, no. You're not going to seal yourself to save the world, you're going to give up your life for something that we don't know if it's true, said Saramam. If what Kurama said is true, I can't let the world end like this, Naruto said, taking his mother's hand. Son, as Okage I entrust you with this mission, and as your father protects everyone, Tobirama said that. Tobirama is crazy, both Usumakas said. Myth by retaking his body and making a shadow clone, so that Kurama would see all of Kurama. Tell me, is there a way? Said Naruto, seeing the clone of his aunt lie. But you will have to be frozen, they will have to protect you in parchment. Well, if they leave you like this, it is very likely that they will wake you up, and with the scroll, you can leave a blood seal. And that only one of their relatives can open or their descendants. Kurama said. This will sound strange to you, Naruto said. What thing? Kurama said. I want a part of you to be sealed with me, just a small part, Naruto said. Why do you want that? Kurama said. At least I won't be alone when I wake up, Naruto said. I understand, it will be an honor, Kurama said, looking at his new companion. Mom, this must be necessary. And if I need you guys to be by my side, and I'll summon you and revive you, you know what I can do, Naruto said, looking at his mother. Promise me whatever you do in that future. You will find someone for yourself, Sarah said, crying in the arms of her children. I will, Mom, I will, Naruto said, hugging his mother. When will the sealing be, Naruto said, seeing his father in the week, so you can enjoy your last days with us, Tobirama said. Well, and Kurama, when will you spend a part with me, Naruto said. Right now, give me a fist bump, and I'll do the rest, Kurama said. It's okay, Naruto said. Ready, Kurama said. I feel weird, Naruto said, fainting. No. Worry, I gave him 30% of my solo. You will be tired until your body assimilates it. Well, I will go to sleep to recover the chakra I gave him, Kurama said. Come on, Sarah, let's take our son to rest, Tobirama said, carrying his son into the Senju's house. What will happen when I wake up? Sarah said, worried about her while she caressed her roll. And she was settling him more in her lap. Honestly, I don't know, but I do know that our son will save them. And something tells me that he will revive us, and you will meet your future daughter-in-law, Tobirama said, joking with his wife. It's weird to see you smiling, honey, and making jokes, Sarah said. Well, we'll only be with him for a week, so let's not waste it, he said. Tobirama said a week later. Son, are you ready? Sarah said, worried about her son. I am them, Mom, Naruto said, hugging his son for the last time. Goodbye, Mom, Naruto said, kissing his mother's forehead. Wait, Naruto, have so that you will remember us in the future, Sarah said, handing over a photo with him and her husband. Ready, son, said Tobirama, hugging his son. Well, it's time, said Naruto. Kurama is ready, said Naruto, being looked at by everyone, clear that if child, said Kurama inside. Well, Aunt Mom. Do it, said Naruto, entered a sealing matrix. Well, goodbye, son, said Sarah, seeing her son being frozen with his father's jutsu. Goodbye, Naruto said in a whisper. Uzumaki seal, greenhouse seal, the two Uzumakas said. After that, Naruto's body was sealed in the Okage scroll, being guarded by both day and night. A week later, the news of Naruto's death spread throughout the elemental continent. Everything was in chaos in Konoha, because the most powerful shinobi had died. Or so they thought. We'll see you soon, son, said the parents, seeing the photo of their child. It's been 40 years since Naruto was presumed dead. No one knew how or where he died, they just knew he was dead. Or so they thought. Naruto had been sealed, for he along with his family. They knew what would happen in a few years, the question is when. Weeks after Naruto disappeared, the war escalated further, thus giving a 5-year war, 5 years of terror. Naruto had participated in the beginnings of this war, but upon learning of his father's dream, he made the drastic decision. Together with his father, from wintering 4 years until being called to combat again, his family knew about this. Although a 12-year-old Tsunade had another thought to that, because her cousin had been sealed by something that they did not know if it would happen. She suffered the horror of war. Her grandfather and great-uncle had died in battle, and her sensei. And he had been promoted to Okage, his team after a battle against Inzola Salamandra, and coming out victorious. Were named Sanins at a young age of 17, just the year the war would end. The war was over, but at a very high cost. The Senju were reduced to 2 members, Tsunade and Naruto. Who was still on their label. Tsunade had lost her lover Dan, and her beloved brother. Many lost more than just assets, they lost friends, families, and the hope that someday this will end. Tsunade decided to retire from the shinobi world, because the pain of having lost everything in that damn war could not be compared to any other pain. After that painful war, another arose exactly 22 years, the Third Great World War, and shinobi broke out. Although this time none of the 5 great nations started the war, this was provoked by the minor villages, after want to occupy a place on the map as the most powerful villages in the world, and not even a series of attacks on the big 5 nations. After that start, the war began, thus giving heroes and fallen. Minato Namikaze was known as the Yellow Flash, but still, his name did not cause as much terror as the Flash of Death, because even if Minato has occupied the Irasen no Jutsu, I cannot carry it to the levels that Naruto took them to, thus giving the most powerful shinobi in history. After 2 long years of fighting between the great nations, the end of that war came, giving victory to Konoha. But something Konoha did not know was Tobirama's dream was being realized. Well, Akatsuki had already been founded, and Obito had already given up on that war. Minato Namika had been appointed Okage after the end of the war, but now the Kyuubi had been liberated. At present, it has already been 15 years after the death of the 4th Okage, the defeat of the Kyuubi, also the birth of a child. That was used as the new contained Kyuubi fork, but something was about to happen at that moment, because someone was about to wake up. No, stop Mizuki, don't do it, said a Chuninja, because defending an Atomonium like her, she was the one who killed your parents. And now you come and protect her. You are just as weak as everyone, said Mizuki, laughing like crazy. She's a fucking bitch, don't you see? It's just like they kill and kill. That's what demons like her do, Mizuki said. You are right, said the Chunin. What? Iruka-sensei thinks that about me too. I knew it, I'm nobody, a blue-eyed girl said, crying as she hugged a scroll. Are you right? This is how monsters and demons act, but Narumi is not a demon. She is striving to be someone, something you will never be able to comprehend, Iruka said. Iruka-sensei said, Narumi crying. She, without realizing it, dropped a drop of blood to the scroll. The seal containing Naruto was broken, as Narumi was a used one. And that was able to break that seal. Ha, then die. Mizuki said. Before Mizuki could throw another giant shuriken, Narumi hit him, leaving the scroll behind the tree. Samples, she was fighting with Mizuki. The scroll burst open. The seal where Naruto was sleeping was broken, thus beginning to glow with intensity, until in a puff of smoke, a frozen man came out. The ice that contained the sleeping man began to melt with speed, because there was another seal that was responsible for thawing him and waking him up when all the ice has been removed from him. Naruto opened Goal's eyes. He lived as a man was about to kill a girl. Without thinking about it, he drew his katana and disappeared in a red flash, appearing behind the man and placing his katana on his neck. "Stop it," Naruto said behind the man. His voice was so dominant that the Shinigami himself would fall short. Mizuki felt a chill, cold all over his body, because now he felt the real fear. More than when the Kyuubi attacked the village, he turned his gaze and saw a red-haired young man with a hard look that showed no feelings. "Q, who are you?" Mizuki said with fear. Naruto didn't listen to him. He looked around and saw Iruka with an Oya ninja band. "You are a leaf ninja," Naruto said, pointing at Iruka. "Essie, yes I am," Iruka said fearfully. "Who is this idiot who tried to kill that young girl?" Naruto said, pointing to Narumi who was standing next to Iruka. "He wanted to steal the Okage scroll and tricked her into doing his job," said Iruka with fear. "A traitor." Naruto said, "I won't kill him here from what I see. The girl is scared." Naruto thought, but Iruka wasn't the only one who saw this. Iris and Saratev, and the third cage was made of stone, because in front of them was Naruto Senjusumaki, son of two legends. While he remembered his temper against traitors, he would not let you ended up on the loose with Naruto. Naruto only knocked him out with a single blow to the back of the head. Now Naruto cast his gaze on the shinobi and on Narumi. Both of the aforementioned tensed up at the sight of Naruto's gaze. "Names now," said Naruto. "Iruka Amino," said Iruka in military pose. "And who are you?" Naruto said looking at Narumi. "Narumi Uzumaki," he said stammering. "Uzumaki? I don't think so, she doesn't seem to be a Uzumaki, or maybe she's a half-breed, but still. She was able to open the seal with her blood, she must be a descendant of the main branch of the Uzumaki, just like I thought." Naruto. "Who are your parents?" Naruto said, seeing how Narumi lowered her head. "She's an orphan," Iruka said looking at Naruto. "Hey, you can come over for a moment," Naruto said, calling Iruka. "She's a Hinchiriki, isn't she?" Naruto said, making Iruka tense up. "Well, if he wasn't from here, you won't answer me." "Well, let's go with the current location. I have to talk to him about security, and how the quality of the shinobi has fallen." "Come on," Naruto said. Naruto went to get the Lokai roll and took it with him. On the way, Narumi wondered who this mysterious and very handsome man was. On his side, Iruka was a little alert. He didn't know who he was, but his face looked familiar, but he couldn't remember where from. When they arrived at the Lokai Tower, everyone went to Perona's office. Naruto went ahead of him and opened the door. Naruto, seeing who he was, changed his stoic face to one of happiness. Well, the years came to you, Irison," said Naruto, looking at his former teammate. "Ha ha ha, it's weird to look young considering you're my age." Naruto said, Irison laughing something. It clicked in Irison's mind. And he remembered who the man in front of him was, and he stood like a stone. In front of him was nothing more and nothing less the man who was considered another shinobi god, because in all his battles, he was victorious. "You are Naruto Uzumaki, the Death Flash," Iruka said nervously. "Apparently they haven't forgotten me," Naruto said, holding Mizuki by the neck. "By the way, you better find out the reason for his actions," Naruto said, throwing Mizuki on Irison Ambu's table. "Please take him to Ibiki," Irison said. "Well, there's a lot to talk about, buddy," Irison said. "Yes, a lot, and more you," Naruto said, getting serious, something he did. Getting nervous to the man who was now considered the shinobi god. "Yes, well, Iruka and Narumi can leave," Irison said. Until Naruto spoke, the shinobi can leave, but the lady did not say serious Naruto. Irison tensed up more, because he already knew where he was going when Iruka left. Irison made a sign for his ambus to leave, but something surprised Irison. Naruto jumped into a corner and knocked out a man. "Apparently, this is not one of your ambus," Naruto said, knocking out Lambune. "Well, what do you want to talk about first?" Irison said, getting serious. "First of all, who is he?" "Her, and don't make it out to me that you don't know," Naruto said. "She is Narumi Uzumaki, and that metal space was found with Kurama. Do you think your other side remembers me?" Naruto said. "Probably, but I feel only half of what I was," Kurama said. "I see," Naruto said. In reality, Naruto turned to Narumi and said, "Who are his father?" Naruto said. "I don't know, Naruto alone." "Irison, I can't continue," because Naruto had hit the table hard, making a hole in it. "Don't give me that, Irison. You know that better than anyone, and you know well that I know when someone is lying, so speak up," Naruto said. "And you won't tell me, but her," Naruto said, seeing Narumi, who was nervous and sad, because the one she considered her grandfather had been lied to by Narumi. "Your parents were Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki," Irison said, letting it all out, "that all this time I thought I was an orphan. Not only that, my parents were the most powerful shinobi in the village, and my father sealed a fleabag," Narumi said. Angry and crying. "Girl, Kurama is not a fleabag," Naruto said. "Girl, the old guys aren't bad. And from what I see, Kurama was controlled against his will. And now that you know about your heritage, I'm introducing myself. I am Naruto Senju Uzumaki, son of Tobirama Senju and Sara Uzumaki. I was sealed when I was 17, and as far as I see we are from the same clan," the Uzumaki said, Naruto watching Narumi. He let cry and saw. Surprised, because one of her heroes was her mother. "You are Sarah Usumaki's son," Narumi said. "If I am, by the way, how many years has it been since I disappeared?" Naruto said, turning to face Irisen. "It's been 40 years, Irisen said. "I see, I'll catch up later," Naruto said. "But now Narumi Uzumaki, are you a Kunoichi?" Naruto asked curious. "No, I have not been able to graduate. They hate me in the village and now I know why I am the reincarnation of the Kyugi. And I am also not good at chakra management," said Narumi Kabisbaya Irisen. "How did a secret of that magnitude get leaked out?" Naruto said angrily, because he knew what the Hichiriki were going through day after day. "I don't know, only the council and the civil council knew," said Irisen. "Idiot, because the civil council is at the shinobi council meetings." Naruto said. "I said Irisen without being able to answer anymore. It is worth answering, and tomorrow make a meeting, and you will call me so that I can take command of the Senju clan. As far as I feel, only Tsunade lives, but she is very far from here, and I guess she has not done anything." Naruto Narumi said. "You are not the Kyubi, he is not a demon, he is called Kurama. And apparently they didn't train you well, did they?" Naruto said. To see that Narumi was only crying over Naruto's head. I wanted to beat the shit out of Irisen. But for now I wouldn't. Now he just wanted to catch up with everything Irisen. When the Genin teams are assembled, Naruto said that he was at Narumi's side within 2 weeks. Irisen said nervously. "Give me 2 ninja bands. And my uniform according to my rank," Naruto said. "He because 2, said Irisen. "One is for me and the other I will give to her, but that will be in a week. This week, I will take responsibility for her. I will train her as she always should have been," Naruto said. "Seriously, wait, you will train me," Marumi said excitedly. I will not leave a fellow Uzumaki untrained," Naruto said, smiling something rarely seen. Without knowing it, Naruto felt something inside. Del when he is close to Narumi, but he never thought about falling in love. "Irisen, there is still the Senjut enclosure," Naruto said. "Yes, here are the keys," Irisen said, handing the keys to Naruto. "Okay, I'll see you tomorrow, Irisen," Naruto said. "Okay, Narumi, come on, you need to rest," Naruto said, taking the Okage scroll along with a happy Narumi. There will be many changes with his arrival, Irisen thought. Because now he will be able to put the civil council in his place, although he was afraid that Naruto would kill Danzo. Because Danzo has done atrocious things, and Naruto would not forgive them as he did. The next morning, Naruto was already awake as usual. Naruto was already preparing Narumi's training, although he knew that she had not been trained at all well. He would have to give her the training to a lesser extent as her father gave her. Her father made her faint, until he managed to make it perfect, although he also wanted everything perfectly. He would not do the same with her, although he still would not let her. So easy. Naruto was walking all over the Senju compound, while walking to Narumi's room to wake her up, as her training was already about to start. Although Naruto liked to train, he had never taught anyone in his life, and this time would be the first time. He was not nervous, because just like Senjudo Virama, he knew well how to teach knock knock knock. Naruto only heard a grunt, only to see a Narumi, disheveled and still in her pajamas. When Naruto saw this, he gave him a tick in the eye, because it was already 8 o'clock in the morning, something that was quite late for him. And well, he hadn't even taken a bath. "Get dressed, your training is going to start. Backyard 10 minutes. If you are late, I will give you the butt punishment for indiscipline," Naruto said, disappearing in a red flash. Narumi. As if he had been told that the ramen would run out, he ran outside and changed into more comfortable clothes to do the workout. After changing, he ran all over the mansion until he reached the back. Naruto, seeing that it had only taken 8 minutes, smiled, because he saw how she was taking a breath. Because apparently she was running until she got here. "Well done, you did it fast. Now, from what I see in your files, you have lousy chakra control, just like the fact that taijutsu, ninjutsu, and good genjutsu is null," Naruto said to see how Narumi lowered her head. "That will change now," Naruto said to watch as Narumi raised her head. "I have 2 weeks for you to at least be in the Chunin grade. I just want to know if you are willing to be under my training regime. I swear I'll make you train to exhaustion, but I won't do what they did to me, because we're not in war seasons. I'll be a little soft, so what do you say?" Naruto said idly. "I'll pull it, I don't want to be weak anymore, and I want to honor my parents," Narumi said determinedly. He has a very good determination, just like mine is, Naruto thought. "Let's get started. The first thing I'm going to show you is the Bunzen cage. This Bunzen or clone are very different from the clones that have been seen before, because in this one, you can learn faster than I have learned towards you. In addition to them, they can also help you manage chakra control," Naruto said. "But in that it helps me, if they just give me what they learned," Narumi said. "Let's put it this way. What a person trains in years, clones will do in a week. If it's more than 500 clones, My clone limit was 1000. Now I can make more than 2000. Now, if all these clones get to learn everything in a week, you'll be able to listen. Execute any knowledge that has been provided by the clones, whether it is taijutsu, ninjutsu, chakra control. And why not kenjutsu, but I will teach you that when you have mastered everything else, Naruto said. Ah, I see, and how do I do that technique? Narumi said like this, Naruto said doing a hand position. When Naruto did the hand position, in a puff of smoke another Naruto appeared. Well, now try it, Naruto said. After half an hour of attempts under Naruto's supervision, Narumi finally succeeded Kajeben without no jutsu, said Narumi. And in a big puff of smoke many Narumi appeared. Imagine that it is Narumi. Naruto, seeing the amount of clones she made, smiled, because she did what many people can't. That meant that she had more chakra than many, although Naruto had lied when he had said that he could only create up to 2,000 clones, because with his chakra alone, he could create more than 5,000 clones. But now with a part of Kurama in the, he could create up to 10,000 clones. Okay, now that you've mastered Kajeben-sen, we'll start with the real training, Naruto said, getting serious just like Narumi. Okay, let's get started. Since you created 1000 Kajeben-sen, we'll do this, 250 clones. Practice taijutsu with my clones, another 200 clones. 50 clones will practice chakra management. Another 250 clones will practice calligraphy and read all those books. And finally, the remaining 250 clones will practice ninjutsu under my tutelage. Well, do it, Naruto said doing the cross pose, and in a puff of smoke. 1,000 Naruto split up and ran until they reached the training camps, followed by the Narumi clones. While the original and she were looking at each other, while you and I will train something else, Naruto said closing his eyes. 1. I guess you don't know much about our clan the Uzumaki, Naruto said. No, until recently I knew he had a clan, Naruto said. And well, that's enough now, sit down. I'll tell you the story of our in addition to our 2 Ketkin Henkai. I can only say that in rare cases, a user can wake up both Ketkin Henkai, one of them are the strings of Diamantina and our Dejutsu. The Ujigen said Naruto showing his eyes. It may look like the Sharingan, but it is not our Dejutsu. It is more powerful than theirs, by far I would say. Besides this, Naruto said crossing his hands. Narumi was about to speak, until she fell silent and saw how golden chains were coming out of Naruto's body. And this is the second Kekken Henkai. I'm one of the 3 Uzumaki who were able to wake him up. Well, in total I have 3 Henkai Kekken, 2 of the Uzumaki and 1 of the Senju, but I'll keep that one for myself. Naruto said. Now look at my eyes, I'll show you our story, Naruto said. Narumi did what Naruto asked. She felt like everything was turning black around her, Narumi. She was about to speak, but she felt a hand on her shoulder and saw Naruto next to her. That made him calm down Narumi. It all started when there was a war. This war was much earlier than the founded villages. This era was called River of Blood, because in this war, the Uchiha clan fought to the death day after day. There is something that many people do not know about the Senju clan. Rather, of the founder of our clan, Asura Otsutsuki, who would come to be called the father of the Senju and Usumakis. The father of the Usumakis gave the order that his family, in this case, we, the redheads, leave, because this was not our battle. So he named us Usumakis, giving us all his father's knowledge of him, and made a law. Protect the family, no matter if they are half-breeds. They carry our blood. After the years passed, the Usumakis settled in between the whirlpools. After being a peaceful clan, they never had problems with wars, but still they never declined in power. Because they proved to be superior to everyone. Everyone, only a few would manage to awaken Dejutsu. So far, there have been only 4 Usumakis who have achieved them. Well, I guess you know the rest from the history books. I just told you about our past, Naruto-sensei said. Do you think I can wake up either of those 2? Kekken Henkai you have, Narumi said with a twinkle in her eye. Naruto deactivated his Dujutsu and struck a pensive pose. And he said, before I answer, I should talk to your tenant, Naruto said, putting his hand on Narumi's head, Narumi's mind. Go so long, Kurama, Naruto said, seeing the big fox. That one is huge, Narumi said, looking at Kurama. Narumi turned around and saw another Kurama. Ah, he got away, Narumi shouted. He didn't run away, I have a part of Kurama, Naruto said. I guess the 4th wish, right? Naruto said gruntingly. And not only that, an Uchiha controlled me. The last time I was controlled it was you to calm my anger, Kurama said. If I remember, apparently the Uchihas are always causing trouble him, Naruto said. Kurama, since I've been with her, tell me, there's a chance she might awaken one of my abilities, Naruto said. Looking at Kurama, he has it, but he will have to train until he can't anymore, Kurama said. And if you don't need me anymore, I'm going to sleep, Kurama said. Real time. Congratulations, Narumi, you will be able to wake up. One of the Kekken Genka, and said Naruto, well, go to breakfast. After that, he will help you train in something, Naruto said, pointing to a shadow clone he made without hand poses. There, Narumi said in military pose. At that, an Ambu fell behind Naruto. The Okage requests his presence in the council, the Ambu said. Well, let's go then, he said. Said Naruto following Lambu in the council. And well, Irison, why did you call us, said Danzo, they will see, and believe me, you will not like what you will see, said Irison. That Naruto opened the door, letting himself see a young man with red hair, blue eyes, and a little muscular. The three counselors stood up all at once. Well, in front of them was their former squad captain, and also leader of their teams, Genin, Naruto said in a whisper Amura. And Koru, Naruto said a little angry, Danzo, go, they look so old. Amura and Koru said. Naruto, seeing his former companions coward, said. Naruto, seeing Danzo, well, let's start the meeting, said Irison, they will wonder who he is. He is the son of Tobirama Senju and Sara Uzumaki. Naruto was presumed dead, but the truth was that he was sealed by his father so he could be in the future. The reason is still unknown, Irison said. It's an honor to meet him, Shikaku Nara said. A Nara, a treat, maybe in the afternoon, I would like to have a shogi game with you, he said. Naruto, greeting the Nara, the clan chiefs were about to talk until the civilians spoke. We want him to coach Yukiya-sama. The civilians shouted at Naruto. Irison was about to reply, but he couldn't speak because Naruto beat him to it. What the hell do civilians do at the Shinobi Council? Naruto screams, unleashing a killing instinct bigger than the Kyugi. The Kale's chiefs were trying to contain themselves, but the civilians were fainting. But Danzo spoke up. Civilians have a right to be here, Danzo said. And who do you think you are to talk, you fucking coward? You're just a fucking counselor, and I don't know how you came to do it. From now on I return as the clan chief of the Senju, and Usumakis being the last man to be so. And if you civilians want me to enter the clan restoration law, you are mistaken. I may be Saru's age, but I won't be like the one who lets civilians have so much power, Naruto said angrily. The Shinobi Council was happy because finally won. He put the civilians in their place, but the Yuga clan was not very happy, because now they were the strongest in the village. And now this young man returns and the... Naruto cast his gaze on Danzo, and could see how to feel how his chakra flow was concentrating on a single point, Naruto. She made discreet hand signals to him that he only understood, and this is what she told him. You will die soon, she won't open it now. But you'd better get rid of those Sharingan and my uncle's cells. Otherwise, I will expose you to the public and kill you. Well, after saying this, I want to tell you that I will manage a Genin team, those I chose. I already have one in mind, I'm only missing two, Naruto said, surprising everyone. Well, the legendary Death Flash would train some 15-year-old Jenny's moments later in the office of the Okage. Well, Irison, I want you to send me the profiles of the best, and I don't want the Lucia one they said there, Naruto said. Okay, that's it, I'm retiring, Irison, Naruto said. Naruto disappearing in a red flash. Irison sighed in relaxation, because now the civilians were controlled, just like Danzo. Because this one came out white from there. With Naruto, Naruto appeared in a tree watching his clone, training Narumi, while the other clones were still practicing. Naruto, seeing her progress, could not avoid feeling like he was the one who was training with his dad when he was a kid. Now it was his turn to teach someone. You will go very far, Narumi. Naruto thought. It's been a week since Naruto started training Narumi, and also the civil council has been at bay. Because Naruto wouldn't even let them vote. Danzo couldn't do anything anymore, because he knew that Naruto would find out sooner or later, which was not a good thing for him. Knowing Naruto, I wouldn't spare his life. But not only did Naruto achieve that, Narumi was already at Chunnin's level, something that Naruto made him proud of. Now he had something else in mind, to see who would become shinobi. That's why he was in the office of the Okage, full of hounins, although no one noticed his presence, because he was in the shadows. Something he liked to do, because he didn't like to attract anyone's attention. And now, I would see how neglected the shinobi are that Sarutobi has made. Okay, let's get started. These are the guys who have graduated from the academy, so you will have to choose who you will have under your tutelage. Irison said, pointing to the graduates' records. After a while of checking, all the files started thinking about who they will choose. But Naruto already suspected who would be left out. Among them was the boy Nijiryuga, the last girl of the Kurama clan named Mia. And finally, Narumi Uzumaki, the worst in her class. Or well, that's what they thought. Well, who starts? Said Irison, seeing that his son raised his hand. I assume Sarutobi. I want to have the new generation of Lino Shikacho, Asuma said with a cigar in his mouth. Naruto analyzed his members. Nara clan, excellent IQ. They are also excellent at handling shadows. Now Yamanaka clan, excellent interrogators, thanks to their mind transference jutsu. And finally, the Akimichi clan. Good at far and near-range combat. Interesting team, thought Naruto. Naruto watched as a Kunoichi raised his hand and said Yokorena and Yui. I want to form a tracking team. So I want Inada Yuga, Kiba, and Nusuka. And if not Aburmi, said Kurena, an interesting tracking equipment, a Yuga, thanks to their Yakugan. They can see through things in addition to closing your tenketsus in one fell swoop, and Inusuka, excellent smell, developed hearing. Attacks in. Collaboration of his dogs, and finally an Aburame, excellent chakra crawlers and long-range fights. Interesting team, thought Naruto. Naruto saw, I covered by his idiot, raised his hand, I Kakashi attack. I want an attack team. So I want Uchiha Sasuke, Sakura Aruno, and Sai Shimura, Kakashi said with boredom, that team more. Stupid, the Uchiha is an arrogant, plus he thinks he's an elite ninja, and now a civilian is serious. And finally, that Sai Shimura must be a dancing puppet, Naruto thought. Well, someone else. Well, someone wants to take the last students, said Irison. Irison, seeing that no one spoke, was going to give for scrapping the team until Naruto spoke. I will do it, since no idiot wants to do it. I will, said Naruto, coming out of the shadows. The new Jounin did not know who they were. Some were even upset by the comment. They were going to shout at him, until they saw Asuma prostrate on Teledesi. Naruto-sama, it's nice to have you here, but tell me why you got interested in those Jennies, Asuma said respectfully. Well, 1, unlike you, I do see potential in them. 2, the last Kurama is a combat and genjutsu specialist. The Yuga would be an excellent shinobi, even if he is from the secondary branch, he can go very far. And 3, Narumi Uzumaki is a Uzumaki, she is one of my clan, and she has a higher resistance than many Hounen here. Since I trained her myself a week ago, and I see that many do not know me, I introduce myself. I am Naruto Senju Uzumaki, son of Tobirama Senju Isara. Uzumaki, or better yet, they know me as the Death Flash, Naruto said, seeing Irison. All the old Hounen were stunned, because in front of them was the man who massacred battalions and squadrons of Hounen rank. Without a drop of sweat on his part, or any tear in him, while the new ones did not know yet who it was, but they would not say anything, because being the son of one of the best Hokages that has ever existed, he would not dare to fight one against one. Or Naruto-sama, I would like a friendly fight with you if you wish, said a man expands green. Mom, an interesting taijutsu specialist, he's fine since I woke up, I don't have a fight, so with pleasure, just one more thing, take the genin to everyone, and there they will know the level of their jounin. And a kind of exhibition, Naruto said, to which Sarutobi thought a good idea. Okay, so this will take place in 2 hours. Prepare yourselves, Jounin-sensei, for you will fight each other one by one, Hiru said. Cheerfully see you, Naruto said, disappearing with the Gazen no Jutsu 2 hours later. All the graduated and in-service genin were there watching how their Hounen were formed in front of them. And only one attracted a lot of attention, not only because he exuded a lot of power around him, but he is the youngest in being, or so they thought, because Naruto was already 50 years old, although he was frozen, his age is not noticeable. But he looked 17 years old as he was frozen. The Hokage entered the scene, earning the stares of everyone. As the Hokage arrived, civilians also arrived to watch the Hounen fight. It's a pleasure to announce that the men and women who are here will face each other in a friendly encounter to show their strength to their future genin. Besides that, to the new genin, as their sensei are the most powerful in the village, you can reach to be like them. It is an honor to announce the first meeting between Naruto Senju Uzumaki. Meito Gui, said Irison. Naruto and Gui walked until they were face to face. Everyone, if the opponents are ready, said Irison, to see how Naruto nodded as well as Gui. He said, then, ready fighters, now. Irison said. Gui was the first to strike the first blow, an accurate quick blow, to surprise. Prey to many, Naruto stopped the blow with one hand, even Kakashi had a hard time stopping his attacks. You are strong, Gui, Naruto said neutrally. Naruto threw a kick at Gui. Gui was inadvertently hit and sent crashing into a tree. Wow, the flames of Naruto-sama burn like the underworld, Gui said excitedly. If he gets serious, I will too, Gui said excitedly. Door opening, Kai, said Gui, getting into a pose. Fight the 8 doors. This guy is capable of opening them. Now he opened the first door. By opening this door, allows the user to be able to use 100% of the strength of the muscles, instead of the 20% that he usually uses. To be used, Naruto thought. Come, Naruto said calmly but excitedly. Oh, Gui shouted, throwing himself to shovel at Naruto. Both of them collided their fists with forces capable of creating an air wave around them. Amazing, he doesn't use the doors. I can, if strength is superior to mine, even with the doors open, Gui thought. Gui Naruto did not want to use any jutsu, because he did not want to take advantage of his power. So he would fight with pure taijutsu. Both opponents were hitting non-stop. Naruto was the one who had given Gui the most blows, because whenever Gui tried to give him an accurate blow, he countered it without problems. While Naruto had no scratches and no drops of sweat, the uninspected Genin and Jun were amazed at Naruto's power. As he did not yield to his opponent, Naruto lashed out at Gui by giving him multiple punches to the body until it ends here, Naruto said, appearing behind Gui, knocking him out in one fell swoop. Many people were speechless when they saw this, because Gui was one of the strongest jounin they have ever had. And Naruto defeated him as if nothing had happened. The Genin were surprised, plus a sub-och, because he thought that he would be their sensei. On the other hand, Narumi was with her mouth open, because she never saw her sensei fight, and now that she saw him, she got nervous to know that there is someone more powerful than the current Hokage. Everyone else was almost with the same thought, until Naruto said something. "You are strong, Gui, you have my respect. Even if I don't fight seriously, and I know you don't either," said Naruto, helping to put Gui on his feet. "I admit it. Naruto-sama, you are the strongest man in the shinobi world," said Gui, panting from exhaustion. Naruto, on his side, just smiled, and helped Gui to take him to be attended by the ninja doctors. After a while more the sensei fought, most of them lost, until only Kakashi and Naruto were left. Everyone was looking forward to this battle, because Kakashi was considered the strongest shinobi in the village today. But that's what they thought. Great, now I'm going to fight with him, I'll have to use the Sharingan, although he didn't even try hard to defeat Ui. How strong will he really be, thought Kakashi, a little afraid by the power of Naruto attack. True. Naruto said. "If that's my name," Kakashi said, as if not at all. "Well, give the order, Irisin," Naruto said, getting into a fighting pose. "Let's get started," Irisin said. Kakashi rushed to attack Naruto, but he appeared behind him, giving him a sidearm, sending him to fly all at sight. They were left with their mouths open, because with a single blow he took out Kakashi. From the field Kakashi threw a fireball. Naruto just said, "Water style, great water dragon," Naruto said, making a single hand stamp. The towering dragon could be seen going against the fireball fiercely. Kakashi was about to attack, but he felt a cradle, and close to his throat. "When?" Naruto said coldly. "You are not superior to anyone, my dear. Attack." "We are all the same," Naruto said. And Ruzan ended the fighting. That's how all the sensei showed up, until they arrived with Naruto. My team is Uzumaki, Narumi, Yuga Neji, and Kurama Miya," Naruto said stoically. All the newbies were surprised, because in the Shiro, I didn't seem more afraid. I had chosen to this that for the others, they were a trash cha. "He should train my Sasuke-kun," a redhead said, earning Naruto's death stare. "That's right, you should train me, I'm the last Uchiha alive, I'm the elite," Sasuke said. "If you are the elite, because the Uchiha clan was reduced to 2 members, and they were killed by 1 man. While my Uzumaki and Senju clans needed battalions to kill them, and still many remained alive, and as for you I imitate. From Kunoichi you yell at me like that again, and I'll make them remember because they were afraid of me before, and now, I'll just tell you this. I am much stronger than my uncle the first Kage." "They understood," Naruto said, seeing Sasuke and Sakura with Iba. "Well, once I cleared this up, Team Zero, come on, it's time to talk," Naruto said, walking, being followed by his genin. As for Sasuke was furious, but upon hearing that Naruto was above the first Kage, he became silent, and besides, that he was humiliated in front of everyone by the council will help me and force him to train me, Sasuke thought. Poor deluded, Naruto has already expelled the civil council and the councilors from the shinobi council meetings. With Naruto arrived at his private training camp, where he will train his genin. Okay, now they'll introduce themselves. I know you guys know each other, but I didn't say Naruto to you. Sensei, how should we introduce ourselves? Miya said, raising her hand. Okay, I'll start, Naruto said, leaning into a tree. My name is Naruto Senjurusumaki. My tastes are ramen, training, playing shogi. Previously being with my family, but now I see that they are already dead. My dislikes are the arrogant, the traitors, and the useless. And for my future I guess to have a family, Naruto said, seeing his genin well in black-haired piece, Naruto said, pointing to mine. That's how it would look mine. I am Miya Kurama, my tastes are training, learning genjutsus, cooking and also reading, I hate perverts, arrogant. And I want to be recognized by my village, Miya said resolutely and with a smile. Excellent, she's dedicated and determined, I like her, Naruto thought. You're fine, redhead, Naruto said, pointing at Narumi. This is what Narumi would look like. I'm Narumi Uzumaki. I like ramen and sludge. I like to train and learn new things. I like to read. I also like to sing when I'm near the river. And my dislikes are the arrogant ones, the ones who treat people badly without knowing about them. I also don't like perverts, and my dream for the future It's having a family and being Okage, Narumi said smiling. Determined, willpower. The will of fire burns in her and in mine, Naruto thought smiling mentally. Okay, and finally, your Yuga, Naruto said, seeing Neji. I'm Neji Yuga from the secondary branch. They are not interested in my tastes, and my dislikes discriminate against her. That suffers the secondary branch, and my dreams for the future, and avenge my father's death, Neji said. I'll seriously have to talk to him after this, Naruto said. What Neji said only made everyone look at them, because Neji's suffering could be heard in his words. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. They will have a test to know if they deserve to be a genius or not. If you are wondering why another test, the first one was to eliminate those who are not suitable to do it. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'm giving them time to get there. I don't want them to be late. If they do, they fail, Naruto said. Seeing them serious, they can leave except for you, Naruto said, pointing to Neji. The two women. They left Naruto and Neji facing each other. Take off the sash, Naruto said seriously, but why? I said, take it off, Naruto said looking into his eyes. Neji stiffened, because apparently his sensei found out, and now he had to show something he doesn't like to do. Neji did as Naruto asked by revealing a stamp. That it was only used for the slaves, that made Naruto feel rage towards the Yuga, let me guess. With that they submit them to the secondary branch, doing everything the main branch tells them to do, and if they refuse, they make them suffer or me. Wrong, Naruto said, crossing his hands. Yes, said Neji angry and squeezing his hands. Naruto approached Neji without him noticing, and on his hand. His fingers were painted with stamps until they reached his palm of his hand. And he put his hand in front of Neji's forehead and said Fuinjutsu Uzumaki Caged Bird Seal Release. Said Naruto threw a chara wave at Neji's seal. Neji, I felt a burst of chakra on his forehead. When he opened his eyes, his sensei was withdrawing his hand from his forehead. You're free, Neji. Now take me to the leader of your clan, Naruto said seriously and with a murderous hour. Well, for Naruto, family came first, and this damn seal was the thing he hated the most in the world. Sensei, thank you, Neji said on the verge of tears. No one should have to suffer like that, Neji, Naruto said, touching Neji's shoulder. Come on, I have something to talk to the stupid one of your clan leader, Naruto said, already angry moments later. Naruto was in front of the advisors, and so, seeing them, and what does the leader of the Naruto-sama clans do, an old man said. I will only say it once, remove the seal. That the Uzumaki gave them as a measure that their Yakugan not be stolen, or I will destroy the entire main branch, Naruto said, releasing a bit of killer instinct. How dare you give us orders, Yashi said. I'll tell you one more time, remove that seal or I'll be forced to do it myself, and take me to the secondary branch, and be protected by the laws of my clans. And those are to protect the family at any cost, Naruto said, seeing Yashi angry. Naruto said angry Yashi about to rush to fight the Yashi, said Naruto releasing his power. We can come to an agreement, said an old man who had met Naruto. I guess you haven't forgotten what I look like, have you? Shan, Naruto said, turning to look at old Shan. Shan, you know how I am, and I mean what I say, so you'll have 2 days to remove that seal. I will come again, and your leader will not live to tell how I slaughtered him, Naruto said, pointing at Shan. Naruto turned to leave his office and stopped. And he said you know, and so I'm surprised that you haven't fulfilled the request of your brother who gave his life in exchange for yours. That you thought he wouldn't know about what happened with Kumo, Naruto said, turning to look. And so I was looking at him with amazement and guilt for what he said to I forget, now the boy Neji is under my protection. Don't go near him, or I'll make sure you know the real hell, Naruto said, leaving Yashi open-mouthed and panting. Naruto was walking around smiling for humiliating Yashi and the whole Yuga clan. You're bad, Naruto, but now that I think about it because you helped the Yuga boy, Kurama said, watching Naruto leave the Yuga complex. I know that you have seen my memories, and you know that I am indebted to his grandmother Akane, Naruto said, watching Neji from a tree. Watching as he cleaned his father's tombstone bullet and talked to him. If I know, you will tell me that story, old boy, Kurama said laughing. Someday, buddy. Someday, Naruto said, smiling, remembering his friend Akane. Akane, I will keep my promise, I will protect your grandson. Although I still don't know how you would know that one of them would suffer, Naruto thought. Naruto was already in the private camp, it was already 8 o'clock, and only Neji was with him while Naruto was reading a book. Neji was reading the laws of the Uzumaki and Senju clan. Well, now he was under those laws, and he didn't want to break any laws. He was going to ask Naruto something, but he saw how he put down his book and straightened up facing a direction. He looked in the direction that Naruto saw, only to see his companions come running like crazy. I told you the sensei was already here, Narumi said to Mia, sorry. I trained before I came, Mia said panting. They arrived an hour early. Okay, and I guess they didn't have breakfast, Naruto said. Hands crossed, Eto no sensei, Narumi said. Sensei, there's something I've been wondering since yesterday when we saw him for the first time, Mia said, lying on the floor. Question, Naruto said, turning to Mia as he saw her face turn red. Well, for her sensei was very handsome. Narumi noticed that and pouted. Because he looks our age. Although he told us his name yesterday, so I took it upon myself to investigate him. And it says that you were in the Second War, and then there are no records anymore, said Mayam. I see, but actually this is my 17-year-old body, and the reason is that I was frozen, and I was entrusted to a mission, which I won't tell you yet when I confirm what it's about, Naruto said, smiling warmly. Okay, enough talking. If you see the table over there is full of food, have breakfast. I don't want them to pass out on me in the middle of the test, Naruto said, watching as the three of them made their way to the table. But more Narumi. And mine that they ran out while Neji was walking calmly. Naruto only sweated about the actions of his two Team Igaki members, and what their test will be like. Knowing you won't let them have it so easy, Kurama said. We'll see if they can work as a team. I know they have no chance against me, but I at least want to see that if they can sacrifice for each other, Naruto said, watching his team eat. Do you remember the last practice match with your father? Said Kurama, haha, how to forget? My mother's just smiled to see that my father and I had good times together. I'm going to miss them. But something tells me that very soon I'll see them again, Naruto said. I remember he threw you in the river and you pulled him with you, and your mom got mad at you and chased you all over the place. Until all three of you fell into the river at the same time. And that was the first time I saw your father really laugh, and your mother the same. They are a dysfunctional family, but they entertained me, said Kurama. Ha ha ha, yes, that same day we ate tangos and watched the sunset. The next day I was sealed, and now, 40 years later, they are no longer here, Naruto said nostalgically. I know, although it looks weird to look young, knowing that you are already an old man, lol, Kurama said. I'll see you later, buddy, Naruto said, looking at his team that had already. I had finished eating. Naruto turned to his team and looked at each of them with an analytical gaze. Well, since you're done and have enough energy. Today I will test if they are able to be genin or return to the academy, Naruto said. Seriously, the genin swallowed hard, because the look that Naruto threw was very serious, so much so that it scared well. I hope they find out the real purpose of this test, Naruto thought. Okay, and the test starts now, Naruto said, disappearing in smoke that a clone said the three of them. It's obvious that we won't defeat Sensei, we must unite to fight him, Neji said. It's true, maybe together we have the possibility to beat him. Put him in a corner, Mia said. Well, how about this? I emboss him with my shadow clones, since I can do more than you. After that, Mia distorts reality and Neji can hit. It seems that to them, Narumi said. In the distance, Naruto was in a tree smiling, because it seems that if they are able to be genin, they are worthy of. Naruto said in a whisper. Naruto walked out to stand in front of his genin, and said, I know you'll be standing there all day, Naruto said out of nowhere. Hundreds of Narumi came out of the ground. Naruto started hitting each of the clones that came out, leaving only the original one. The kids were amazed by Naruto's dexterity at the moment of a battle of mind, without wasting time, distorted reality becoming all dark. While Narumi and Neji launched themselves against Naruto, but to their surprise, Naruto countered Mia's ability, without more strategy, the three of them launched themselves against Naruto. Narumi was about to give Naruto a break. But to their surprise he takes it and raised it against me, knocking them out. There was only Neji left. Neji turned on Naruto. Neji thought he could hit him this time, until Naruto pulled up behind him very slowly, Naruto said. Hitting Neji and sending him to where his three companions were. They saw each other and nodded. Fire style, just fireball, Mia said, throwing a 5-meter fireball, wind gust style. The two of them, without knowing it, the fireball tripled, giving a gigantic fireball by energy that he knew. Jutsus elementals released Kunai with explosive stamps. The genin thought they had already defeated their sensei, but Naruto stopped the fireball with a single hand by holding it in it. Naruto lifted the fireball effortlessly. The genin were surprised, because Naruto had not sweated or any sign of fatigue was visible. And just seeing Naruto stop the jutsu in his hand and keep at it made the genin afraid of their sensei and saw him with respect. Sensei is very strong. He thought, I see why the Sandai is afraid of me and respects him. It's very powerful. Neji thought, sweating nervously. Sugo and Sensei are very strong. I wonder how strong it will be. He thought. The boys were interrupted from their thoughts by Naruto. This can be achieved by you, achieving total mastery of your chakra, and staying calm at all times. It's just a balance that is very complicated to learn, but not impossible, Naruto said, creating a gust of wind. Throwing it at the fireball, destroying it instantly. Naruto saw his genin. That they were trying to stand up to keep fighting, Even Kurama was impressed by Naruto's power, if only he was powerful. He could also see the will of the young people, so equal to Naruto's, but at the level of the Rikudo Sennin. It will be he, the young man with blue eyes, who will manage to stop and put an end to the threat of Kagu. And his clan thought Kurama. I'll take you back to Naruto. They passed, Naruto said, leaving his genin surprised. They passed for the reason of being able to team up, and that's the most important thing in a mission. Teamwork. My father used to say, we are powerful alone, but together we are invincible, and this is something that I say to you, Naruto said, making sure his genin were paying attention. Those who break the rules are scum, but those who abandon a friend are worse than scum. I learned it in the war. A friend abandoned his squad just because he wanted to live, he broke the rules, and not only that, his squad almost died. I came and managed to save them all. Among them was your grandmother Akanenji, Naruto said. Seeing their genin were in shock one day. I'll tell you everything that happens, guys. But it will be another time. You can leave, Naruto said. The genin thanked their sensei and went to eat. Everything was seen by Naruto. He saw how his genin were leaving. He could only see his friends fallen in the war, although he didn't see them promising generations. Or well, some of them said Naruto disappearing in a red flash. A world of only peace. A world of only love.
Everybody wants to rule the world.
I will create such a world.
There's a room where the light won't find you.
Hello people, how are you? How are you feeling? I hope you are feeling very well. And without further ado, let's start with the video. It's already been a week after the test that Naruto did to his genin, although the team did not do D-rank missions. Because for Naruto, those are not considered missions by choosing to enter. Train his team. The team improved thanks to Naruto's tutelage, although Naruto called special training, they called them kill the genin. Because Naruto did not let them rest until they could no longer get up, thanks to this they improved more, even they were already at the high Chunin level, bordering on the low Hounen. Sensei. He's going to kill us, the genin shouted, for Naruto had thrown a huge tsunami after them. The best way to learn is at a low risk of death, and if you are not able to stop a simple jutsu of this magnitude, then you better think of something else to defeat your enemies. Remember that this training is to improve your chakra control, so be creative before you join in the water. Said Naruto, expelling more water from nature, we will have to prevent our sensei's jutsu us. I hit it full, said Narumi running. I have an idea, but I don't know if it will work, said Neji running after the girls, and that is true. Speak now, said Mia. They remember the day we learned to walk on walls and trees. It must be the same, we just have to balance each other, keep the flow stable. Neji's idea sounds better than yours, Narumi, Mia said in a teasing tone that. Swimming is not a bad idea, Narumi said. Yeah, but we're going to swim in a dam. Tsunami Baka said. Mine it's time, or never, said Neji stopping in his tracks, start running and jump into the big tsunami. So that's what you're gonna do, Neji. We'll see how you do, Naruto thought. For Naruto felt how Neji's chakra was going to his feet, maintaining a flow. Neji fell on the tsunami, seeing that he is able to support himself. Standing on the water, girls. If it works, do it, Neji said, running over the water. The girls imitated Neji, achieving it on the first try. They ran over the water and were about to launch their collaborative jutsu until they saw that Naruto was heading towards them, leaving a clone to maintain the jutsu. Great way to dodge the jutsu of tsunami. Well, let's start with today's lesson, Naruto said in front of his genin who were running in circles there. The three of them shouted. Well, Shinobi Battle Techniques Part 1 Taijutsu, Naruto said, running after his genin, being his genin. They went after him going straight, while one distracted, the others threw punches. The genin were frustrated by not being able to hit their sensei, because he blocked easily, even without using his dojutsu or his chains. Keep calm at all times, do not get carried away by frustration, said Naruto. Dodging the attacks of the genin. The boys listened to their sensei very calmly, so they decided to calm down. The guys combined all their punches, making Naruto excited. They get better fast, Naruto thought. The guys were about to hit Naruto until. That's enough. Naruto shouted, sending an air wave. undoing his own jutsu instantly. They have improved more than I had imagined. They can rest today, they deserve it. In 2 days, you will have your first mission, so rest up, Naruto said, seeing how their genin looked at them with relief. Because for the moment their torture would stop. Well, you can go now. I have something to do, so goodbye, Naruto said, disappearing in a red flash. After Naruto left, Narumi came up with something. Hey, how about investigating our sensei further, Narumi said, looking at her companions. You are crazy, although if I also want to know who our sensei is, he said mine and you're blind, what do you say? Narumi said mockingly. That we gave the most, although if we get into trouble, it will be your fault, Narumi. Yes, if whatever you say, let's go, Narumi said. Getting up, the guys took on the task of getting to know his sense and thoroughly. There is nothing in the history books, it only says that he defeated a battle of 10,000 men, staining in the dream with their blood, Narumi said. Hey, and why don't we ask him? Said Mia, seeing her companions is our last option, said Neji and Narumi with nothing else to do. The boys searched for Naruto until they found him in a lake, lying on the grass. They went stealthily to surprise him, but something happens, guys, Naruto said, still on the ground with his eyes closed. That when he knew it was us, the three of them said, I'm a censor, remember? Naruto said, and well, they will tell me what is wrong with them. Neji and Mia couldn't bring themselves to tell her, so they beat Narumi up to make her say it. Eto-sensei. We took it upon ourselves to find out more about you, but we found almost nothing. Do you think it would be possible to know a little more about you and your adventures? Narumi said, nervous because they didn't say it before. Naruto said, opening his eyes, seeing how it was getting dark. The girls fell on their backs because they didn't think it would be so easy. Convinced their sensei to tell them their stories. Mum, where do I start? Naruto said. The genin had already settled in to find out the story of Naruto. Mum. Well, I was born on October 20th. My first years of life were peaceful because I hadn't started my father's training yet. At the age of 4, I managed to do my first fire jutsu, burning my father's hair. Flashback. Naruto, son, what are you doing? Sarah said, seeing her son with a scroll in his hands. Kei-chan, I saw this scroll on the table, and it is very interesting. Look at the stamps already. Memory, Naruto said, making the stamps in an average speed fire style. Fire blast jutsu, Naruto said, expelling the fire from his mouth. I've arrived, Tobirama said, not realizing that the gust. Faga de Fugo was going by what he said. Sarah starting to draw, and Tobirama felt his head hot, and saw that it was burning, and he saw who was the cause. And he saw how his wife sends water to his head. Ha 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 ha, you look like a human torch, dear. And Minaru-chan is already able to use ninjutsu, and shouted Sarah, and carry her son. That he made that, said Tobirama, fainting. Flashback end. Haha, that same day my dad started training me, and realized that I was a fixed prodigy. Naruto, watching the lake nostalgically. Sensei. And when was his first mission? Narumi said it was when I was 7 years old. It was the first time I activated my Yujigen, Naruto said. Flashback. Well, son, this is your first mission, and it's going to be outside the village. Protect your partner, and above all, take care of yourself. I know your sensei is one of the strongest, but don't get complacent, Sarah said, looking her son in the eyes. And mom, I will, and dad. Naruto said, seeing that his father was not there. He has an important meeting with your uncle, so he won't be able to come, but don't worry, when you come back, we'll have your favorite meal. Sarah said, smiling at her son moments later. Come on, Naruto, a pearl-eyed girl said. I'm going to cane, Naruto said behind his companion. Wow, Naruto. If it is well prepared, said a boy with glasses, then a little. Shang said Naruto, seeing his other partner Wiga. Well, guys, today will be your first mission outside the village. Remember to always be alert and never rush, the team's sensei said. I still don't know the name I will give to the sensei, so comment the name of the one you would like. Sensei, said the three of them. The way was very simple, only bandits and wild beasts, but we were intercepted by a group of Kirishin. Careful, Naruto shouted, watching as a Kiri shinobi hit his partner. Naruto saw how his team was beaten up, while he could fight with some shinobi in such desperation. Naruto woke up his true self, because the Yujigen had appeared in his eyes enough. I shout Naruto with his Yujigen activated, and that you will make dwarf, said the shinobi of Kiri this. And what will you do, child? You are weak, a brat, you are just useless, your parents would be ashamed of you. Naruto was frustrated, his eyes changed to red ones with 6 blades in them, but even with all that, he still felt despair. Gradually the golden chains came out. The 2 most feared Genka and Uzumaki clan Kekken in the world have been reborn in one host. Without knowing more, Naruto exploded in anger, directing it at the enemy shinobi. No, 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 shouted Naruto, expelling a gust of wind next to his chains moving wildly. while his eyes turned as if the devil himself had possessed them. "Cuckoo, what is this child?" the children said when they saw the power of Naruto come out afloat. I am his death," Naruto said, walking slowly towards them, while his companions of Naruto watched as the calmer and more serene shinobi lost his control of himself. Looking scarier than the Viju themselves. Naruto killed almost all of them, and only one survived, leaving him plotting for life. Now Naruto, since that day, was known as Devil's Eyes. That was his first nickname given by his enemies, or at least the one that survived. That day was the change I had. I murdered a lot of people. On the way back home, I kept thinking about it. My classmates and sensei told me that this would happen, and that they were surprised by my Kaiken Genkai, but for me it wasn't like that. I've never liked it. To kill, but more nevertheless, is a high price for peace. It was when we arrived at the village that I understood, and even more when my mother said, "Flashback, so my son has already killed." Tobirama said, worried, because he was not there to prevent his son from doing it at such a young age. Yes, Lama and Mito were about to talk, but they saw how Sarah would get up and walk to the exit. "Sarah, where are you going? We haven't said yet how we will train Naruto." He woke up his. "Shut up. My son is suffering, and he must be thinking that he is a monster for having killed, and you only care about what he woke up. You can go to hell, sister, your best. That no one should know the law of our clan. We never abandoned the family, and I will not abandon my son for something he was forced to do. So they better not make me angry. And much less you, Tobirama, are leaving aside the feelings of your son." "I'm going with my son, he needs me and I'll be there for him," Sarah said angrily. The others could only lower their heads and more myth, because she was forgetting the laws of her clan. Tobirama felt like the worst father in the world with Naruto. "Live, die, kill, I'm a fucking monster." "I killed them," said a Naruto in a lake, watching the reflection of the water. Sarah saw her son, and she could see the sadness, and above all the shit. Naruto's dull gaze, Sarah's heart broke. Watching her child suffer is something that no mother likes to Naruchan. "What are you doing alone?" "I know it's cute, but it's not good to be alone," Sarah said, approaching Naruto. "Stay away, you don't deserve a monster like me." "I killed them, Mom, I killed them." "I'm a fucking scumbag," Naruto said, letting out a tear. "Naruchan, did you enjoy killing them?" Said Sarah. "No, I was blinded by my anger. Realizing what I did, I got angry with myself. I wanted to take my life." "I don't want to see that anymore," said Naruto. "Kabispaya, Naruchan, I said if you enjoyed them," Sarah said, sitting down next to Naruto. She didn't say Naruto. In a whisper. "You're not a monster. If you were, I would have enjoyed killing them." "There's something your father and I haven't told you," Sarah said. Watching Naruto, Naruto still kept seeing the water. Sarah took him by the chin, forcing him to see her. Sarah saw her son's eyes. Sarah saw her son with love. "Naruto, look at me," Sarah said, seeing that Naruto was focusing his gaze on his mother's eyes. "In the life of a ninja, that will always happen. We will be in danger, and if son we will get to kill. And in a war that's what happens, people are killed. Konoha has always tried to avoid wars. There was only one in which we had to protect you so that you could live in peace, but peace will never be lasting," Sarah said. "And if you think that you are a monster for killing them, then your father and I are monsters we have also killed. But it does not mean that we like to do it, we do it because it is a sacrifice for the peace of the people," Sarah said. "No, I'm a monster, Mom," Naruto said, wiping away his tears. "No, Naruchan, you are not. You did what it took to protect your friends, and that's a good thing. The will of fire is in you. You were able to protect them, and I want you to know that I would give my life to protect you, son," said Sarah, giving a. "I hugged Naruto." "Mom," said Naruto, crying in his mother's arms. "Let him out, son, let him out," said Sarah, crying along with her son. In the distance, Tobirama was cursing himself for being a bad father to Naruto, deciding that he would prepare him for what was to come. Make him strong, and if it's not enough himself, he would give his life for his son. That day, I knew that I was not a monster, and from that day I swore to protect my mother and the village with my life. Unfortunately for me, I had to seal myself up to be in these times, to make sure the world doesn't go to hell." The genin were surprised by what their sensei experienced as a child. Narumi and Mia were crying because of how much Naruto loved his mother. "Haha, after a few weeks later, my training started. My mother put a lot of effort into my training, along with my father. My uncle and aunt came and trained me the same. That lasted for about 7 years, but the peace of Konoha would be affected by World War II and shinobi. That's when my name started gaining a lot of weight at the age of 16. I was considered the strongest shinobi in the world, surpassing my uncle and my father by far. Just before my birthday, the war broke out. I was put as a captain of a whole squadron." Flashback, say Okage-sama, Naruto said on his knees before his father. Naruto-san, we have put you at the head of a squad of ambush. They will go to this direction. I think there will be an ambush. But being that you will be able to with them after all, you are stronger than your uncle and I together, Tobirama said, seeing his son. I will, Dad, but Mom will kill you if she finds out, Naruto said, taking the scroll. Tobirama felt a shiver at what was said, for it was well known that his wife would not take kindly to their son's mission. Moments later, Naruto was at the head of the squad. Upon arriving at the battlefield, 10,000 shinobi came out of the shadows. Damn, Naruto said, slamming his palm to the ground, creating a wall of dirt just enough. Great for cover from long-distance attacks. My wall won't take much, Naruto said, thinking about his next move. Damn, I only have the God of Thunder left. I'll have to occupy the Ujigen for every microsecond. I'll have to move in space and time, and damn, it's impossible to do something like that. But I won't give up. I'm not leaving without a fight, Naruto thought, until he remembered his flashback training days. Excellent, son. You mastered the Irasen no Jutsu in a few days, and you have taken it to its maximum splendor. Much more than I have taken it. But I just want to give you a tip. The moment you activate the seal, both you and each cell, every neuron of your brain speeds up. You must find a way to maintain a balance, and that's nature. Feel the air, the vibration. Every molecule of you, feel it, and at the moment of using the jutsu, you will be able to use it without problems. By becoming one with him, and your brain will not be recharged with energy, Tobirama said. Besides, Tasugen will be able to make you take jutsu to a new level, son. After all, that Dojutsu can see everything much more slowly. That will help you in battle, Sarah said, smiling. End of flashback. That's right, Naruto said, closing his eyes. This was seen by the squad in front of him. Naruto suddenly opened his eyes, showing his Ujigen, but this time it was different. Captain, your eyes, said the ambush. Naruto turned around to stand in front of the wall and said, the moment the eye destroy the wall, I want them to launch these Kunai. Don't ask, so they'll just do the rest. I'll take care of it, Naruto said with his Ueskin activated unknowingly. There was Naruto. He had awakened the Amenem, heavenly eyes, whose power surpassed the Magiccio Sharingan, and could reach his final stage, the Supreme Rinnegan. But not for now. Naruto snapped his fingers. The wall fell at that moment. The ambush did as requested, launched the Kunai. Naruto, seeing that the first Kunai was heading to the first battalion. This one disappeared in a red flash. All I could see was a sea of blood. In a microsecond, a battalion had already fallen under Naruto's Mucho. Every time Naruto disappeared, a battalion of 100 men fell to Naruto's sword. Naruto became one with himself, thus giving the real terror to the ninja enemies. The horror that only one man caused. Even with that, all the ninja died by Naruto's hand. At the end of the task, Naruto was panting from the wear and tear of that battle, because for everyone today, Naruto had become a legend, dubbing him the Flash of Death or Sea of Blood. This feat was toured through all the enemy villages, giving the order that if they ran into run away from the after Naruto finished his mission, they went back to the village. When they arrived, everyone saw Naruto full of dried blood. Not that if they noticed it was their tiredness, besides being escorted by the Angus. When he arrived at the Lokai Tower, Tobirama was surprised by what his son did. Not only he saved his comrades, but he instilled fear in the enemy villages. Mission accomplished, father, Naruto said, holding onto the wall. Naru-chan, said Sarah, walking into the office. Mom, well, I'll report now. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to sleep for a while, Naruto said, falling down. But before he fell, Sarah caught him and carried everything. Tobirama, get ready because you're not going to see the light again, Sarah said angrily. Tobirama felt a chill, because he knew better than anyone the temperament of his wife, and even more if it was about Naruto. End of flashback. Haha, that same night my dad ended up worse than me, Naruto said, seeing the dark sky sensei, and he thinks we become like the three of you said. No, they will never be like me, Naruto said. Don't worry, the Genin lowered their heads because of what Naruto said. They'll be better than me. I know that, maybe not in power, but you guys have something that I had a hard time doing, Naruto said. And that's sensei, Narumi said, watching Naruto. Haha, well, feelings almost. I was never good with it, besides I was always a serious person. If it wasn't for my mother, I wouldn't know what it means to have fun. Naruto, Neji said. I know you're wondering how I met your grandmother. She was a girl of my generation. She went to one that saved in the war. She was. Flashback. Naruto, after his battle against the 10,000 shinobi, had been rested, but his rest would be disturbed. Naruto. A man with white eyes shouted, Shan. What are you doing here? Naruto said, getting up from the bed to get dressed, because she had recovered all her chakra. That Kane is in danger, she envied. At his invocation, he is now with the Okage. You have to save her, Shan said. Desperate, damn it, Naruto said, disappearing in a red flash. Naruto appeared in his father's office and saw a small weasel in front of his father. Naruto, what are you doing here? Tobirama said, seeing that Naruto was coming with his weapons and his uniform. Where is Akane? I must go and save her, Naruto said. Seriously, I'm sorry son, but they're surrounded. I won't put you in danger one more time. Danzo was at the front and failed, Tobirama Kabas said under that. You put that useless guy as a leader, that idiot with delusions of grandeur. Listen to me well, father, I don't care if you label me as a traitor myself. I'll go get her and her squad. I won't abandon a partner, Naruto said, who unconsciously activated the Uzinaminome. Tobirama was stunned to see the eyes and the decision of his son. You know your mom's gonna kill you, right? Tobirama said. Yes, but I don't care, you're weasel, tell me where they are. Naruto said pointing to the summoning. She has a crib, and like that one you have, said the invocation. So I'm not abandoning him, Naruto thought. I'll go back to them, Naruto said, disappearing in a red flash. Naruto appeared in front of Akane, seeing a dancer who was giving orders. You better shut your mouth, or I will, Naruto said, seeing how Danzo turned around. I would turn around and see Naruto in the eyes. Naruto was getting closer to Danzo every step Naruto took. Danzo felt more and more scared. I'll say it once, Danzo. Shut your mouth, or I'll make sure you never open it again. This Karo, Naruto said, sending a wave of killer instinct. The wall that protected the shinobi from the hour. It broke, but the enemies stopped in their tracks because they recognized the guy who was in front of them. That is the flash of death. Run, the Iwanan said, as if to let them escape, Naruto said, running after them. Style of fire, great annihilation of fire, Naruto said, expelling a large charred flare to the vast majority of them. I don't need the Irasen no Jutsu to kill them. This is a war, there is no forgiveness in anything, Naruto said, slitting the throat of every shinobi standing. After murdering all the enemy shinobi, Naruto turned to the team he had saved from death. Naruto only directed a cold look at Danzo, it was no secret. The contempt of Naruto made Danzo, because for Naruto Danzo from the academy always wanted power, and now that he could prove it. He didn't do it because, by the fact of being a weakling you're fine Akane said Naruto, going down to be at the height of an Akane to the point of fainting. You always arrive at the right time, Naruto-kun, Akane said. Fainting, but before she hit the ground, Naruto caught her. You fought Kane well, I don't doubt it, Naruto said. Okay, let's go, Naruto told us taking everyone away after. Naruto was scolded by his mother for such a reckless act of her son, but at the same time, she was proud of what he did. He saved many lives that day one day. Before Akane woke up, her father's dream was told to him to his family. Naruto only had a short time left, and he wanted to be there by the time she woke up. So after Kurama passed a part of him and became unconscious, he woke up, and the first thing he did was to go to the hospital and not move from there. Akane woke up, and the first thing she saw was a Naruto reading, sitting next to her. Look who decided to wake up. Welcome, Naruto said, putting down his book to check on his silly friend. But thanks for saving me, Akane said. You're welcome. How are you feeling? Naruto said, taking Akane's hand. Well, much better. What happened to Danzo? Akane said, asked by. For the idiot, or well, Naruto said, pointing to the Okage's mountain, seeing a dancer wiping the two faces that were there, ha 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 ha. But what Akane said, laughing at what she was seeing, I would say to my father for the stupidity that this I was going to do, Naruto said, seeing Danzo being teased by a seagull, it's never going to change. Naruto, I want to tell you something, and I want you to swear it to me, Akane said. It would be dime, Naruto said. I had a dream where you were in a different Konoha, and I saw my grandchildren. One stayed in the secondary branch and suffered because my son had been murdered. Naruto, promise me that if it is true my dream, you will protect him, said Akane, leaving a surprised Naruto to Kane. As I was in your dream, said Naruto, because he was afraid that she would know about his sealing. As well as now young, because something happens. Akane said suspiciously. Naruto sighed and said, Akane, in a week I will be sealed, because my father had a dream revealing something very bad. I can't tell you, because it's a secret, just like my seal. Naruto said you're crazy, Akane said. Akane is not easy for me, I don't want to leave my family, to you Naruto said. Naruto, I love you, Akane said. Naruto, if you notice, a tear came out of him. I'm sorry, Akane, but I have to, Naruto said. They both hugged, they both looked at each other, and little by little their lips. They got together, I love you Akane. End of flashback. I won't tell you what we did next, Naruto thought. So you and my grandmother Akane were a couple, Neji said. You could say, Naruto said. With the girls they were a little jealous, because they thought that they would be the first to kiss him or do something else. My grandmother always told us stories about you. When my dad died, she fell into depression and died, Neji lost and Neji said. Don't worry, she'll be alive soon. Well, that's all to tell. Go home, there will be chakra control training tomorrow. One more day of training, it won't hurt them, Naruto said smiling. The genin did not shout. After listening to the stories of Naruto and his adventures, the boys were encouraged. Because knowing that their sensei was not only a feared shinobi, but he also had to train to have that high level that he has now, ever. They imagined that a legendary man will train them. The genin had arrived at the usual training camp, but to their surprise, there was only a note from their sensei. That said, Memorial of the Fallen. I see you there. Naruto was standing in front of the monument of the fallen in battle. Naruto only looked at one specific name, Tobirama Senju. Naruto was not alone, because Kakashi Itachi was also in that one. The place. How long have they been gone? Naruto said, still seeing his father's name. It was in the Third War, they died, one left me a great teaching, and the other taught me to see the fun of living. Kakashi said, touching his covered eye, and that's it, Naruto said. He told me that he heard that phrase from his grandfather, rather. It comes from you, Naruto-sama, those who break the rules are scum, but those who abandon a friend are worse than scum, Kakashi said. And it's true, partners will always be important for our life, they fill our emptiness, no matter what. No matter how powerful you are without friends, you are not. No one, and Kakashi, you are not alone, you have a new friend now, Naruto said, touching Kakashi by the shoulder. Kakashi was speechless, because a shinobi considered the most powerful, name him if friend was lake, which was not seen every day. You miss your friends from your time, Kakashi said, looking at Naruto, who moved towards his mother's name, as you have no idea. My mother, my father, and the one who stole my heart have died. I'm sure they will come back, maybe not now, but they will. Guys, get out of there, Naruto said, turning to the bushes. The genin came out with a white face, because every time they did that, Naruto made them enter. Even more unable, since they are here, they know that this is what Naruto said, pointing to the monument. The genin knew what it was, but not really its meaning. I guess they know the name, but not what it means, Naruto said. Naruto watched as his genin shook their heads, while Kakashi watched the actions of the man in front. To him, since Naruto had created a flower by just touching the ground and placing it near his mother's name. This monument was built in honor of the fallen who protected Konoha with their lives. But reality is a place where we can remember them without fear of being forgotten. They are heroes, heroes who protected their future. Naruto said, getting up. Okay, Kakashi, Narumi, Neji and Miya, we have a mission in collaboration with Team 7. Naruto said, walking. The others followed them, but something made them strange, because Naruto was carrying a bouquet of roses in his hands. Naruto stopped at a tombstone that said in honor of a Kane Yuga, Neji noticed. To all this, he had never come to visit his grandmother, nor his younger sister, who was still at the academy. Nor his cousins have come. Neji was beginning to suspect that he was not a pure Yuga, because since he was born, he was very different from others. Just like his cousins and sister. Sensei, you said that you had a relationship with my grandmother. Neji said. Naruto just nodded. You might be wondering why I'm protecting you, right? Naruto said. Neji just nodded. Well, flashback. Naruto, you noticed, Kurama said. About Neji's chakra, Naruto said. Yes, it's similar to you and the brat Yuga, which you had an affair, Kurama said. It's time to know. To actually see what happened in the time of my absence, Naruto said, entering the Senju complex. And heading to the place where his mother wrote both her life and her techniques. Here is my mother's diary. Let's see what happened a few months after I left, Naruto said. It's been a month since my Naruchan was sealed. I've been wanting to wake up, to break the news to him that Akane is pregnant with his child. I will be a grandmother, I will protect those children as of place. 9 months since Naruchan was sealed, my 2 grandchildren have been born, Tobirama is crazy. The Iga are protecting my son's descendants, Yashi and Sasi Senju Yuga, like crazy. Wow, so Akane had kids of mine. That means Neji is my grandson, just like his sister Izumi and his cousins, Naruto said. At least you don't only have Tsunade and the old ones, that's what Kurama said lol. I'll see you later, buddy, Naruto said. End of flashback. Then I am your grandson, Neji said, putting aside his stoicism. The others were surprised, plus the 2 members of the Whirlpool team. Kakashi didn't know what to say. I was stunned by Naruto's revelation. Something else surprised them was that Naruto hugged Neji paternally. As long as I am alive, I will not let anything happen to you, your sister and your cousins, and that interrupted them. Luya to you, Narumi and Miya, Naruto said smiling at them. Narumi and Miya couldn't help but blush, as he had said that nothing would happen to them as long as he was alive. Neji cried in her grandfather's arms. Perhaps he could not fully feel the love of his father or mother, because both died long ago, but his grandfather was there with him now. Alright, it's time to go for the mission, Naruto said, stopping hugging Neji, and starting to walk. They were all following him moments later. Team 7 and Team Whirlpool were in front of Irison. Well, this is the first mission for the Naruto team, so both the Naruto team and the Kakashi team. Whether they will work together to protect a bridge builder, Irison said. Although Naruto are already thinking about something else, a C-rank mission for a builder. Naruto didn't say anything, he was just thinking about every possible scenario. The one that sounded the most to him was that the country was in danger. Send in the builder, Tazuna said. Said Irison. These brats will protect me, I feel safer with them, said Tazuna. How dare you? I am an elite Uchiha, I am the strongest one here, Sasuke said. Naruto for his part decided to put aside his father's bad thought, which was that all Uchihas are bad, without anyone noticing. Naruto. Sujugen in its second phase. Naruto entered Sasuke's memories, saw everything he lived, and what he was doing was just a mask of what he really is. He also discovered the killer of the Uchiha clan, or well, the killer. And Tami Uchiha mum, that forced you to destroy your entire clan, Naruto thought, deactivating his eyes. Heavenly. Don't worry, we are all strong. Also, Sasuke, I want to talk to you privately, Naruto said. Looking at Sasuke, Sasuke was speechless, because Naruto said it not as a request, but as an order. Naruto and Kakashi, you will lead the luck mission, Irison said. You have 1 hour, bring the necessary. Naruto said, looking at Sakura. When Sakura felt Naruto's gaze, she was scared, because Naruto was serious. Wow, Grandpa can be scary at any time, thought Neji. Damn, because he turns me on so much, thought Mia. Wow, that is indeed a man, Narumi thought. Moments later, Sasuke was in front of Naruto. Sasuke got nervous, because Naruto wasn't saying anything. He was just looking at him. When you put down your mask, Naruto said. Sasuke was surprised, as no one had been able to see through his mask. I don't know what you're talking about, Sasuke said like that. And Tami Uchiha sounds familiar to you, Naruto said, trying to provoke Sasuke. What do you know of her? Is a fucking traitor, she killed my parents, everything she loved, I admired her, Sasuke said. Putting aside his mask sometime. You wondered why he did it, Naruto said, seeing that Sasuke suddenly opened his eyes. We'll keep talking later, they're already here, Naruto said, seeing that everyone was approaching ready. Naruto said, seeing that everyone was ready. Even more so when his students kept everything on scrolls, Naruto smiled to see it made by his pupils. Let's go. After leaving for the mission, Naruto and his team never let their guard down, while Team 7 was very calm. The genin of the Naruto team knew perfectly well that if they let their guard down, they would be in danger. More if Naruto surprised them with an unannounced training, the way was normal. The guys from Naruto's team defeated the Demon Brothers, making it clear why they didn't do their missions. While Team 7 had been paralyzed and a Sai watching over Naruto, but he hadn't noticed that Naruto already. He had other intentions with him, he knew who he was and the reason for his stay with Team 7. Naruto said, Kurama. What's the matter? Naruto said, feeling weird. Your eyes, the heavenly eyes are activating, and I don't know why, Kurama said. Naruto stopped abruptly and touched his eyes as they started to bleed. He opened. His eyes and the heavenly eyes were in all their splendor. What's wrong with me? Naruto thought. The others saw what was happening to Naruto. Their genin were worried about Narumi and Mia's side. They were about to go to his aid, but Neji's arm stopped them, although Neji was also worried. He didn't know what was happening to his grandfather. Naruto began to see everything dark, even with his eyes open. Naruto appeared on a battlefield. Naruto walked until he saw something that for the first time left him speechless. Jujuvai, what the hell? Today Naruto, your eyes have one more ability. Do you remember that you never managed to know his true abilities? This is one of them, Kurama said. You see that too, Naruto said. Yes, it's the war your father spoke about, Kurama said, unable to believe that the Jubi was in front of them. Or at least in a vision. Imagine it's Narumi on the front, that's Narumi and Alliance, Naruto said, unable to believe his eyes. Who caused this? Naruto thought. The vision was beginning to fade. Naruto, when he came back to reality, saw his team fighting with a fishman with a sword and a woman fighting with Sasuke. Naruto shook his head. Once he got his bearings, he made a Kajibunsen, threw himself into the fight and Tami. Sasuke shouted. I'm sorry, Sasuke. You'll understand soon enough. And Itami thought that she was about to knock out Sasuke, but an arm stopped her. She turned around and could only see the Ujigen in its second phase, and the carrier had a serious and calm look. She tried to pull away, but Naruto's firm grip prevented her from doing so. Tsukuyomi, said Itami, showing his Magishio Sharingan. It's time for answers, Naruto thought, letting the Genjutsu catch him. Itami and Naruto appeared in a blood-red place with crows in them. Itami was about to subdue Naruto, but to his surprise, she was on a cross, and a Naruto sitting on a chair. Itami Uchiha, said Naruto, looking at Itami in the eyes. So what? What did you do to me? Said Itami, who for the first time felt fear. Nothing, just use your skill against you, you know, it's one of my Ujigen skills, but let's not go into details with my eyes. Now Itami, because a prodigy of her clan who had everything, prestige, respect and admiration from the people of the village and your clan, decided to exterminate her clan,